I'm going to invite everybody to stand up as we shake out the cobwebs and get more grounded for those of us who are just in meditation. And we're going to sing our opening tune by Rickie, Byars. I'm choosing heaven today. And when in New Thought, we know heaven's not a destination. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. So this is how we're choosing to be today. We're choosing to be positive, to be life-affirming, to really remember who and what we are. And that's what this song is all about. So join in, please. All right, here we go. And feel free like clapping too. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven I'm choosing love today. Thank you. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing grace today. Maybe move a little. I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing grace today. All right, everyone, say hello to your neighbor. Now you get to really move around. Say hello to everyone. Connect. All right, come on back. We're going to sing about compassion. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose compassion today. Joy, I'm choosing joy today. Who's feeling joyful? I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven. When? Today. Yeah, all right. Woohoo! What a way to open Celebrate Sunday. Bob Goodwin on the piano. Let's give him a hand, everyone. And the VTC Community Choir in the seats, give yourselves a hand. And then go ahead and sit down. Thank you. All right, so welcome to another Celebrate Sunday here at the Victoria Truth Center. It's so lovely to see so many smiling, lit up faces. What a wonderful sunny day. What is this, like third sunny day in a row or something here on the island? Oh, loving it. Thank you. Knowing that the sun is always there, even when the clouds are around, but man, is it nice to see it and feel it, right? So, may I ask, before I move forward, is there anyone who's here for the first time on a Sunday today? All right, let's welcome Stephanie and Fiona. Thank you for being here. Let's let them know how delighted we are that they're here. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. Let's give them a hand, everyone. Thank you. All right, and we are delighted that you're here because we come together to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to really remember who we are. That there is this one thing that is going on. Call it whatever works for you. Some people call it God, some people call it universe, source, spirit, love, creativity, the quantum field. Whatever it is that works for you, it's not the word that really matters. It's the thing that we are here to further embody, to like feel in our bodies right down to the cellular, atomic, and subatomic level. The thing that we aspire to show up as more fully, more joyfully, more purposefully, more intentionally, more meaningfully, and not just for ourselves, but for everyone and everything around, our community and the world. So we're here to celebrate the love we truly are. So how is that sounding to everyone on a sunny Sunday morning? Yeah? Okay. So let us also remember where it is that we are celebrating the love that we truly are. that we are on the unceded territories of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. And if we take a look at some of the values that they hold dear, we can see that forgiveness, love, respect, honesty, and courage are right there. And these are values that we could all likely embrace and embody more fully. And guess what? When we do, what is it that we're doing? Not only are we embracing those values, but in embracing those values, we are celebrating the love that we are. We are celebrating and acknowledging and amplifying the love that everyone and everything is. We're up-leveling together as a community, as consciousness in general. And as we do that, we are saying thank you and showing gratitude and reverence and appreciation for these lands and the people who have stewarded them for so long, celebrating the interconnectedness of everyone and everything. So we are so grateful to be able to live and breathe and work and play and co-create on these lands together. Haishka. All right, so we're moving into our meditative tune for the month, which is I Surrender by Christy Snow. And feel free to sing along. It is the exact same verse 4 times over. And this is an opportunity to just tune in a little more deeply, to reflect and to remember who we are. Falling into the arms of love, surrendering to who and what we are. Knowing that right here, right now is the only moment that matters, the moment of pure creativity, the moment where that one thing, that divine energetic flow, the word, consciousness, God is present, is expressing, is fulfilling itself in, through, and as everyone and everything. And so I know that right here, right now, as I open myself up and completely surrender to this knowingness, this power, this harmony of life and living, I'm so grateful to know that that divine energetic flow, that knowingness, that pure essential love is alive and well and active in each and everyone present, in everyone, everywhere, and every when, that it is the very foundation of our time together today. So know Sunday unfolds as this incredible, amazing, pure, essential love expressing. I am so grateful to know that there is always, always more love to lean into, more love to be expressed, more love to be expanded by. And so I know that as each and every one of us opens up and surrenders to the truth of our being, that we unfold as a community grounded and founded in love, more meaningfully, more intentionally, more purposefully, radiating that love out into the world, amplifying it in everyone and everything. So for all the love that is present, for all the love that is yet to come, I am so eternally grateful, so thrilled, so honored, so humbled to know that right here, right now, and always, love is all there is. So I release, I let go, I trust in life's loving flow as together we affirm, and so it is. All right, and so just taking an extra breath to transition from our opening spiritual mind treatment, our opening affirmative prayer, and coming into the portion of our time together where we get to talk about the theme of the month, which for this month is consciousness, right? And there's an affirmation to go with, which is love is all there is, and consciousness is everything. So if love is all there is, it means there is nothing that is not love. And if consciousness is everything, it means that there is nothing that is not consciousness, right? And if there's all and there's everything, what does that mean? Love is consciousness, consciousness is love. There's only one thing, called by a gazillion different names, but one thing. And this is who and what we are. And our work is to remember that and to embody it and experience it and allow it to fulfill itself more fully in, through, and as us. So I would love to hear from one or two or maybe three people as to what is consciousness or this affirmation or whatever, even thriving in 2025, because our affirmation for the year is here to thrive in 2020. What any of that is feeling like in this moment. We're halfway through this month, more than halfway through this month, so we've had some time to really settle into this theme, the affirmation, and our yearly theme. So who's ready to go first and share something that they've experienced, maybe a shift, an insight, a thought, an experience? I'm going to hand the microphone to Dean in the front row so I can be away from it and there's no feedback. All right, and then who would like to share something? I know there's something out here that wants to be shared and expressed, so. Sandy in the back, thank you. You're going to need to come up here, though, because I don't think it's going to extend that far. All right, thank you, Sandy.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning. There's coffee cake. That is love. I'm gonna share that I'm taking Glenn's workshop on the 4 agreements, and it's really, really good. And the thing that is coming up for me for consciousness is this idea that we have to be impeccable with our word. And you might think, oh, well, I mean what I say what I mean, but it's like so much bigger than that. So when I think about consciousness and I think about being impeccable with your word, they go hand in hand. You really, really have this level of consciousness about what you're putting out there that is kind of profound. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, some really good conversations in that book study. There are 3 more to go. If you haven't attended for the first 2, you can always hop in. All right, so thank you, Sandy, for your thoughts on consciousness and the word, a la Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 agreements. Who else has something that they would like to share? All right. It feels like maybe this share is complete then. All right, so I'm going to take this. Thank you. And so I invite everyone to keep leaning into this theme. I invite you, especially if you're taking the book study, here's an opportunity to really consider what is it that is in this book that Don Miguel Ruiz is inviting us to open up to and explore more fully. And how does that compare or contrast or relate to consciousness and what it is that we're talking about here in terms of new thought principles of oneness, sacredness, and divinity of all, and that we create our life experience according to how we use our mind, according to how we use open our heart, and we are the ones who are taking personal responsibility and need to take personal responsibility for our life experience. Okay? All right, thank you. And so now we are moving into our feature tune with Bob. So Bob, why don't you let us know what you chose and why?
I was playing at a seniors complex yesterday, and I was playing this song for them, and it just resonated with me for some reason. Because I'll tell you this much, it has world in it. It made me think of all the different kinds of worlds there are. We live on a world. We have a whole world at home. If you're working, you have a work world. And all ties into being conscious, being aware. And so, here's the song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They're much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself,
you, Bob. So this is week 3, and so week 3, we would take a look at the introduction, part 3, which is what it does. And so we have talked about the thing itself, which is this thing, call it what you will, but there's only one of it, and that it's happening all the time. It's creative, it's expressive, it's constantly expanding, moving and grooving its way in, through, and as everyone and everything. The way it works, there is a law or a principle that is always in effect. And so whatever it is that is impressed through the sea of subjectivity or subjective mind, it simply is reflected into what becomes our life experience. And so what it does is it expresses. Okay? That's on the universal level. It expresses in, through, and as us. It fulfills itself in, through, and as us. If it didn't have an outlet, it would just be potentiality. It would just be beingness. It would just be possibility. And in order for it to know itself more fully, it needs to know itself through something. And that's where we come in. That's where stuff comes in. That's where life comes in. So what it does is it expresses. Now that's on the universal level. There's also the individual level, which is what each and every one of us is experiencing and creating. So what is it that we're doing as God, as spirit, as love, as infinite potentiality of the quantum field? Well, I believe that we are rediscovering our true nature. We're remembering who and what we are. So there's this thing that is happening at the same time. On the universal level, it's expressing, it's fulfilling itself, and then we, often forgetting we're this, we are remembering that this is who and what we are, and this is happening simultaneously. So what I would really like to do right now, as my husband Glenn is navigating the cameras and tech issues that we're having, is to thank him, because he has offered so many nuggets in the last few days that I'm like, oh my God, that's going to fit in with my talk. That's going to fit in. This works perfectly with part 3 of that introduction in Science of Mind. And so one of the things that he offered a couple of days ago, I don't know what social media platform he picked it off of, but it was a post, and it was this: God is the treasure longing to be known. Sufi wisdom. So I don't know which Sufi mystic, offered this in these words, or if this is just an encapsulation or interpretation, but God is the treasure longing to be known. Oh, this just felt so good for me when I heard it. It just right in my heart, in every single fiber of my being, God coming alive in, through, and as me. Which means that I am not a part of, or a tiny part of, or just some aspect of God, that I am God. I am all of it. Each and every one of us is all of it all the time. But we only experience what we're willing to and ready to experience. We only receive the wisdom that we're willing and ready to receive. But the capacity, the potentiality, all of it is all there, all the time. So I have a quote from Ernest Holmes. We are surrounded by an infinite possibility. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. As it passes into our being, it automatically becomes the law of our lives. So it sounds a little dualistic, because it sounds like maybe something out there is passing through us, but really consciousness is everything. Everything is this incredible, amazing, infinite possibility. All of this goodness, all of this life, all of this law and reason, it's everything. But again, in order for it to fulfill itself, in order for it to know itself in some kind of more concrete, tangible way, it needs to express itself, and there are rules that apply. And the basic rule is that we are cause to our effect. So whatever it is that we think, whatever it is that we believe, whatever it is that we feel, impresses itself through this area of mind, which is the law, and then is reflected in form. So if whatever we're experiencing in form, which is our life, doesn't jive with what it is we're thinking, then we got to look into and start digging into unearthing and exploring what's going on in this sea of subjectivity where all thoughts, all ideas, all memory of all time exist, because something in there is getting in the way of us manifesting or demonstrating all of these ideas and dreams and visions we have up here by the time it gets to our life experience down here. And that's the work that we do too, right? We get clear on what it is that we're believing. We get clear on the thoughts that we are thinking, on the feelings that we're feeling, on the way that we are using our mind. So for those of you who don't know, in addition to ministry, before ministry, I worked as what I called myself as a soul excavator, which was what I called the mindful, messy, and dynamic work of digging through and unearthing the limiting thoughts, stories, and beliefs that keep us feeling stuck, revealing life's most extraordinary treasure, the infinite creativity, resilience, and love we truly are. And so going with this beautiful quote that Glenn offered me, God is the treasure longing to be known, knowing that what it does, whatever you want to call it, that it is constantly expressing itself in, through, and as us, and that we, as that, a lot of times forgetting that we're that, are trying to remember who and what we are. The title of my talk today is The Treasure Longing to Be Known. And the whole point of this is, I was trying to find a good image that was like, there's something in there, but it's not quite attainable yet. This was the closest that I could find. So we have a treasure chest here, right? And you can see that there's something in there that is like lighting up from the inside, right? There isn't anywhere that you have to go to find it. It's right there all the time. And so our job is to unpack it, to dig through whatever muck and soil and gunk and stones and, our thoughts, our beliefs, and all that kind of stuff that is getting in the way, that has buried it, but it's there all the time. And at any moment, we can discover it for ourselves because it's who and what we are. So because Glenn offered me this one quote that said Sufi wisdom, I thought, I got to check out some Hazrat Inayat Khan because he's my favorite Sufi mystic and the teacher who brought Sufism to the West. So when we were in California a couple of years ago for my ministerial graduation, we were in Ventura, and there was an amazing bookstore there that Glenn went into and checked out a whole bunch of stuff, and when he came out with, among other things, these two amazing Hazrat Inayat Khan books. And so in one of them, he writes, "Every soul evolves in its own time. Only the rhythm of the soul's progress depends upon the speed with which it evolves. Whether a person is inclined to evolve or not, the inner inclination of his soul is to continue its process of unfoldment." So whether we buy into this or not, it doesn't matter, and I'm going to qualify that in a second, because it's happening anyway. We cannot stop it. Spirit is not static. It is pure energy. That's another way to look at it. It is pure energy. And so it is constantly unfolding. It is constantly evolving. It is constantly expanding. It's constantly looking for a way to fulfill itself, to express itself. And as soon as it finds one, especially if it's open and receptive, whoosh, there it goes. Ta-da! Here I am, a spiritual being having a spiritual experience. Look at me! It doesn't matter if I'm like, I'm not going to partake in that. It's happening. And if we keep butting up against, I'm not buying into that. I'm not going to, I'm going to turn a blind eye sort of thing. Well, guess what that causes? Suffering, right? In some form. Because we're denying our true nature. We're denying our true selves. But we literally cannot be denied. And so what I really appreciate was in this part of the book, which is the Sufi teachings, The Smiling Forehead by Hazrat Inayat Khan. There is a section in here on the process of spiritual unfoldment. And in here, he talks about how, when it comes to the rediscovery part, what we're doing here, and remembering who and what we are, that there are 4 ways or 4 paths that people can take to this rediscovery. There's the path of the drunken fool, someone who doesn't know where he's going, constantly bumping into things, doesn't know right from wrong. He's just kind of doing his own thing, joyful, passing through life, but not really paying attention to the beauty that is all around. Might fall down 1,000 times in this process, but eventually arrives in remembering who and what he is. There's the person who's asleep, the person who isn't even aware that they're on a journey and all of this beauty that is around them. And because they're not aware, isn't able to partake consciously in this journey that they're on. And yet, at some point, they still arrive. Then there's the person who's indifferent, who literally forgets who he truly is. And because he can't remember, he can't connect on that level. He doesn't understand what's going on. He can't appreciate. So he too misses all the beauty that is around, that is available to partake in, to behold. And then there's the person with the open eyes and heart, right? The person who is enjoying everything along the way, the person who is paying attention, the person who is impeccable with their word, all you book study people, the person who feels fulfilled and knows that spirit is fulfilling itself in, through, and as them. This is the person who moves through life aware, who moves through life the way Hazrat Inayat Khan says, with sympathy and trust. Everything is beauty. The sweet, the sour, the beautiful and delicious, everything in between is beauty because there is gift and blessing and opportunity in everything, even the most challenging, even the most horrific, because they know who they are. So my question to you is, which one do you think you are? And you don't have to raise your hands, but just think to yourself, which one do you think you are? There's the drunken fool, the one who's asleep, the one who's indifferent, the one with open eyes and heart. And this open eyes and heart, that's the one that some people would call the spiritual path, right? Well, here's the deal. We are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. We are all of those aspects of God at any moment in time. And this is why there's this constant tug of war, this constant battle, which sometimes we're aware of, and a lot of times we're not, in remembering who and what we truly are. So we can walk through life sometimes just like, tra-la-la, bumping into things and kind of like getting where we're going, but not really being aware or paying attention. Sometimes we can completely forget and be asleep, even after taking, the book studies and reading the books and the classes and coming here and singing the songs and going to the week-long workshops and all that kind of stuff. We like great when we're there, and then we leave, and then we go back to whatever it is that was happening before, because we forget. We forget not just because it's what's happening for us, but the collective consciousness. There's also that. And that pull of the collective, or like the race consciousness of like not even paying attention, just buying into a whole bunch of beliefs that exist because they've been passed down generation to generation in a culture, by media, by politics, by education systems, whatever. Well, all of those beliefs, they're in that sea of subjectivity. You don't get rid of them. They're always there, which is why we need to continuously, consciously walk through life and remember who and what we are and how powerful and capable we are. Because spirit, on the universal level, is constantly expressing itself. Constantly. It cannot be stopped. On the individual level, we can be asleep, we can be drunk, we can be indifferent, and we can have our eyes and hearts open to the infinite possibilities of who we can become. We can have our eyes and hearts open even when sometimes we are kind of asleep and feeling indifferent and like, I just don't know anymore. How did I get here? But I'm telling you that with consistent practice, by being part of a community where you can be uplifted even in times where you're like, I don't know. By consistently and consciously turning to remembering who and what you are, by putting those practices in place, by being around people that are seemingly further along on their journey than you are, then this gives you the opportunity again, again, and again, and again, and again to remember who you are, to celebrate the love that you truly are, and to be more on the path of the open eyes and open heart person more often than maybe on the other three. But also, the more you open yourself up to being the open eyes and open heart person, the less judgmental and critical you become of the other three, because we all have those aspects within ourselves, and everyone around us does too. And the less critical and judgmental we become of ourselves, the less critical and judgmental we become of others, right? I just really appreciated those 4 aspects. So I was in conversation with someone recently, and one of the things that they said was, having a really hard time, if I could have superpowers, being invisible would be one of them. And man, this is something that I can relate to from many years back. And if anyone here has read my book, then you will have read about how ashamed I felt at certain times in my life, and how shame goes beyond guilt, because when you are immersed in shame, you feel like there is something inherently wrong and broken and unfixable with you. And that can get to the point where you feel like you are contagious, that if you are near someone that you care for and love, that you might infect them with whatever it is that is broken within you. Here is the thing, though. Even when you feel that way, even when those kind of thoughts are going through your head, there is still that in you that is so whole, that is so profound, that is always, always present as that allness of being, that pure, essential, unconditional love, as God, as life, as power, presence, profundity, universe, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it. It is always there, and it is always intact, and it is always, always ready to be expressed more fully in, through, and as you. So there is no thought you could think, there is no belief that you could have, there is no story you could tell, there is no circumstance that you could experience that could ever diminish that wholeness that you truly are. So maybe you can be willing to just let that belief go, to let that thought go. Just be willing. Even if you have no idea how to shift, just be willing to release a little bit and just allow for that thing that each and every one of us truly is, that love, that light, that knowingness, to just move through you, because that's what it's ready to do anyway. Ernest Holmes writes, "We cannot fight the universe. It refuses to be budged from its course." And so going back to Don Miguel Ruiz, being impeccable is not going against yourself. Being impeccable with your word is the correct use of your energy. It means to use your energy in the direction of truth and love for yourself. That's from the 4 Agreements. Now, at the end of yesterday's book study, we were given an assignment. And it wasn't directly out of the book, but it was another Don Miguel Ruiz quote. And when Glenn told me this, my heart just melted. I am the love of my life. Just sit with that for a minute. Hear it, say it to yourself. I am the love of my life. Put the pause, punctuate it however you will. There's so many different ways, but it just keeps coming back to, I am love. The thing that is expressing through me is love. My life is an expression of love. My life is love expressing. I am the love of my life. So my question to you is today, what would life look like? What could it feel like if every moment of every day we truly remembered who we are, who everyone and everything is, And we walk through life not just saying it, not just repeating it, thinking it, even believing it, but knowing with every fiber of our being. Say it with me. I am the love of my life. Thank you, and so it is. Okay, whew, big one today. It's time for some conscious conversation so you can unpack a little bit of what was just shared and what's bubbling up for you now as a result, or maybe from when you came in. So I invite you to get into groups of 4. Just take your chairs and turn them around with the people closest to you. Have yourself a conversation, and we will come back in about 10 minutes. I'll ding the meditation bowl when it's time to come back. I invite you to place your hands on your heart as, with enthusiasm, we declare this abundance blessing together. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive. By embracing generosity with enthusiasm and delight, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. And so I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze once again and let this gratitude and appreciation expand. Let it appreciate, let it grow, let it radiate out beyond our bodies, beyond this gathering, beyond these walls, out into the community, into the universe, knowing that it is being reflected and amplified right back at us. And so I'm so grateful to know that no matter how much we give, there is always, always more, because the love that we are, the light that we are, the power, presence, and profundity that we are is infinite, is eternal, is boundless, is limitless. Okay, just a few announcements. There is a healing circle today starting at 12:15. So whether you have been with us before for the healing circle or not, please join us. It is a beautiful, beautiful, powerful opportunity to see how intention and affirmative prayer really shift energy, move energy, and help those who have requested prayer to feel differently about whatever it is that they are experiencing. People have found homes, they have found jobs, they have healed from certain illnesses. Please feel free to join us. It's a very powerful 45 minutes. Reverend Carola will be here, and then we also have another guest who's going to be here, Diana, who's at the back of the room. January events left. We have one more Celebrate. Our healing circle is today. If you're interested in authentic relating games, there's one happening tonight with Robbie. There's a little bit more information out in the foyer. Elevate on Wednesday from 7 to 8:45, and then 3 more Saturdays of the 4 Agreements book study with Glenn. We have a group of about 16 people, and the conversation is rich. What can we know for you? Again, Healing Circle happening today. At any time, you can email prayers@victoriatruthcenter.org. You can also fill out a little form. There's a prayer request form in front of the silver bowl there. If you would like to put something in there that's coming into the Healing Circle today, and then the VTC prayer team will continue praying affirmatively for everyone on that list all week long. If you're not already signed up for the newsletter, sign up sheet at the back. Best way to know what is happening and when at the Victoria Truth Center. And community announcements. I know that there's at least one. You want to come on up, Zoe, and let people know? I'm signing up for this. Super excited.
I'm so honored and pleased to offer the singing workshop. I started coming here last August, and some of you know I've been in a big life transition and was looking for home and my next steps in life. And as it turns out, I'll be here till March 1st, and I found a sublet in Nelson, not here, so I'm just with you for a little bit longer. And I've been offering singing workshops for about 10 years. So if you are someone who wants to let your voice out more and really be supported, to uplift each other, you're not going to be put on the spot to sing. It's I've got a lot of beautiful songs and chants that I've done with lots of groups of people, and yeah, it's going to be magical. So please feel free to ask me any questions after. And if you feel drawn, don't be shy. Come join us.
Thank you, Zoe. Yeah, really, really looking forward to this. All right. Does anybody else have anything in the community that they are offering that they would like to share before we move into our closing tune? Coffee cake. There's coffee cake left on the table where the massive poinsettia is over there. All right. Thank you, Sandy, very much. Okay, well, then I'm going to invite everybody to stand up. We're going to sing our closing tune, which is I Light Up the World by Amy Steinberg. Light up the world with my light. I 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 light up the world with my light. Turn to someone next to you. Light up the world with your light. You light up the world with your light. You light up the world with your light. You light up the world with your light. As a community, we light up the world with our light. 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 We light it up, 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 we light up the world. We light it up, 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 we light up the world. All right, everyone, bless your neighbor for the week. Or until the healing circle. Let's keep lighting it up. I light up the world with my light. 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 Really light it up. I light up the world with my light. Shine on. I light up the world with my light. I light up the world with my light. You light up the world with your light. We light up the world with our light. Woo! All right. And that's another Celebrate Sunday at the Victoria Truth Center. Thank you for being here in person, online. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. We'll see you next week. Thank you.